Hello MassComm. Today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on InDesign. So you have an assignment, Yearbook 02, use InDesign to create two spreads. You will be choosing either of two of any four of these spreads to replicate. All right, to try to get as close as possible as you can in InDesign. So you could pick any two of these. You can look at them. That one's a lot of photos and stuff. And I'm going to quickly go over here to InDesign, and I'm going to show you what you should do to set this up. So, and also some quick tips on how to actually work InDesign. So you can go Create New, or you can go to File New. So I'm going to go to File New, Document. You'll have a dialog box comes up. Yours is going to look a little different. You're going to have some different numbers and stuff, but we both have to click this to inches. Yours is an 8.5 by 11, I think, probably. Change yours from 9 to 12. 9 width, 12 height. 2 pages, start page 2, 1 column, and yours says 0.5. Change that to 0.25, all of these. Or you could change one of them and click the link thing. So once I have all this set up, I'm looking good to go. I should go to Create. It's going to load my spread. Remember, a spread is a left page and a right page. So that's page 2, and this is page 3, right? That's how the yearbook works. Page 1 is always only right facing. It's always only one page on the right. Page 2 and 3 is always on a spread. These handlebars move up and down. These handlebars move left and right. If you ever get lost or stuck and you're not sure where you're at, you can go to View, Fit Spread and Window, and you're back. Okay? InDesign has got a lot of stuff on it, right? It's got stuff over here on the top, toolbars, all kinds of stuff. We could sit and do InDesign forever, but the quick rundown is that when you're emulating any of these spreads, right, some basic elements are there. So that's a picture. That's text, right? The text right here are the pictures, and these are lines. And this is like a rectangle with the white filled in. More lines over here. There's a lot of basic stuff that you can see. So basically what I'm going to show you how to do is do a lot of that basic stuff and go from there. So right off the bat, InDesign works by allowing you to place and move around elements on the page. Okay, you can zoom in or out by going View, Zoom in or out. On the computer, I'm on a PC. It's Control minus and Control plus. I can zoom in, zoom out. I'm going to let's put it right there. I'm going to View, Fit Spread and Window, right? Okay, I like that better. And I am going to place a photograph using the rectangle tool. And the rectangle frame tool is how I'll place all my photographs. So I'm going to do a dominant photo. And I'm going to do it all the way, something like that. And you can see the X that goes through that is telling me that the picture needs to go there. All right. So I have that placed. And I can go up here to the selection tool. And I can move that around. Okay. So mainly you're going to be using in InDesign the selection tool, the direct selection tool, the type tool, the line tool, the rectangle frame tool, rectangle tool, anything with this little like triangle next to it. You can click and hold, and you can click like I can do an ellipse, I can do a rectangle, polygon. Down here is fill and stroke. That's important because if you do if I select this text or picture box, right, and I go to my fill, I can double click on my fill and I could choose like a color, press OK, and that's going to put that on the inside. If I want to take that and make it on the outside, I could click this right here, swap fill and stroke, and now that's my stroke because that there's a stroke there, it's hard to see. So I'll go over here to stroke or go to window, stroke, and I will increase that. See that? And that's just on the outside. So fill is what's on the inside of an element, even text. So I'll go to the type tool, I'll lay some text out, I'll type in something, highlight it, we'll make it bigger so we can see it. And the type tools are up here. It's loading, I think. The same rules apply as far as blah, 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 blah. Highlight it, click here. I can make my text red. Press OK and select out. All right, so just like any element, you can move around. the boxes. You can make the boxes bigger or smaller. If I do this and I see that little plus square, that means there's text inside of there. Or I need to make the box bigger to fill the text in, or to make the text allow it to see it all. And of course, I can just click on that and delete it, and I can go on that and delete it. Okay. So I'm going to draw a picture box again, and I'm going to make it a really big dominant photo. And I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to place like some pictures I took of the fall, these leaves. And that looks really funky, right? It doesn't fit in there correctly. What InDesign does is it takes the photo and puts it into the frame, but it doesn't always know what to do with it. The selection tool only lets you move around the frame. All right, that's a picture frame. If I click the direct selection tool, it lets you move around what's inside of the frame, directly selecting that. A quick way to fix this would be to go to your selection tool, click on your frame, two-finger click right here. You're going to go to Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally, and it makes the photo fit your box as good as it can, right? What you do not want to do is I can double click on here and I can select the photograph. I do not want to like warp it, make it look funky, because that all of a sudden looks pretty weird, right? Looks funky. I do not want that, so I'm going to go back. That looks right. All right, once you have something placed on the page, of course, you can move it around. You could also let your cursor go to the edge, and I could tilt it. All right, edge, tilt it. And you don't want to do that generally in your book. I can make this smaller, but remember, when I make it smaller, it makes the frame smaller, not the photo. If I wanted to fit the photo back in, two-finger click, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. Let's do that one last time. I'm going to make this a really big dominant photo. Two-finger click, Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. All right, I have a photo placed. I'm going to place my other photograph, and I'm going to go... I forgot to do this. You should do this. I apologize. Go to View, Grids and Guides, Show Document Grid. And now, the reason why it's important, because I can measure spacing between elements. So I'm going to place a photo that's one pico away from the other one of those boxes, and it goes all the way over to the edge. All right, I'm going to go to File, Place one of those photos, and I'm going to select it, and Fitting, Fill Frame Proportionally. So I got another picture there. So let's say I'm doing a yearbook spread, and I know that every photo needs a caption, right? It needs a cut line. So I'm going to put a cut line for this photo. Let's move it down. I'll show you why. I'm going to put a cut line for this photo up here, and a cut line for this photo down here, I think. We'll see. Okay. So I'll go to my type tool, and I will type within, or I'll draw a box. And there's nothing there. Now I could type directly into there, but that's not good because you want to type in a word or something, write your story, and then copy and paste it in. And I'm going to go to Type, Fill with Placeholder Text. Boom. I got placeholder text right there. I'm going to make another cut line right here. Type, Fill with Placeholder Text. Boom. And once again, you can move these around just like any other element. You can rotate them, do all that stuff. If I want to change the text type, I can highlight it all. Remember, Control A, Command A, I think, for you guys. And I can make that smaller. I can make it bigger. I can choose new fonts. But remember, when you're using InDesign to create yearbook spreads, every caption should be the same size and the same font. I'm going to do a headline over here. Big old headline. Let's do it like this. Headline. I'm going to type that in. I'm going to make that giant. Not quite big enough, so I can press up. Now I can press down. And I'll do a subhead underneath that. And I'll call this secondary headline. Highlight. And make it big. Say I want it to match the other one, so I'm just going to click over. That's a quick, easy way to do it. Once again, I could move it on top of things. If I wanted it to be behind something, I could two-finger click, go to Arrange, go Send to Back. Now it's behind it, but it doesn't really matter for this one. That's my headline. I'm gonna have my story in here. So my story is gonna go all the way across. Type, fill with placeholder text, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? That's too. That's just too. It's too far across to be readable. So I'm gonna cut it in two. I'm gonna go like this. You can click this little plus, and then do another one. And these are not equal, so I'm gonna move that around. Do you see right below the green? Look at the green when I do that. It'll tell me when I'm right underneath. It'll tell me when I'm like equal to the other one. Let go. Now I have my story. And I'm going to do another picture right here. That's a vertical. And then a photo right here. Right. File. Place. Just choose one. Click that one. File. Place. Choose one. I'll highlight both of those. 2-finger click. Fitting. Fill frame proportionally. And I've got a yearbook spread that is not ready yet because I need captions. And I'm going to copy, paste, and make that fit. And I'm going to copy that one. And I have cut lines for that one, story, headline, secondary headline, a dominant photo, another photo. Now this is not a great yearbook spread, right? You want more photos. There's what am I doing down here? You don't have to fill every bit of white space, but there's still, it looks sloppy. But you could see the basics to doing this. The line tool, if I want to make a spide bar, you can click there. If you go to stroke, you can make the stroke that thicker. So I have that. I can make that longer. It's at an angle though, so let's go back. I'll show you how to make it not at an angle. I'm going to hold down shift while I draw, and it's only going to do it at right angles. So I'm going to draw shift, and I'm going to do a line there. And then I'm going to go make this thicker. You can make your line thicker. And then you have a line, let's say, I'm going to copy this. Go to edit, copy, edit, paste. And then this could be like a sidebar where you have a photo. File, place, we're pretending like we have photos here that are actually yearbook photos. And then you can do your text, type, fill with placeholder text. All right, so I know I went fast. Go through this again. Try to know these basics right here. If you know how to place text and you know how to use your selection and direct selection tool to move things around, you'll be able to, for the most part, go in and do most of this stuff. Now, the cutouts and stuff like this you do in Photoshop generally, and then you import it into here. I could show you how to do that, but I'm not making you. You would just do one big text box for that. But you could do pretty much everything I showed you right now with all the tools that we just looked at. All right, you have some class time to work on this, so use your class time and ask questions a lot.